Joe, we're going to be with you. Where did you end up?
I ended up.
What was your highest, and then kind of? And Joe, you want to go up on the screen and kind of show us and talk about as far as where your points ended up?
My lowest was sharing, which is Yeah, my lowest was compromising.
Okay, so you don't like to compromise.
I guess. I
Okay.
thought I did, but at least it's forcing. So I guess that just shows I'm not as assertive. Smoothing, which would be withdrawing, is my least. What would withdrawing be? This, I guess.
Withdrawing.
Withdrawing or smoothing?
Yeah, smoothing is a yielding.
Yielding. Okay, so that's my second least. And so my top two are avoiding.
Okay, you avoid. Okay, that's interesting.
Which I didn't think would be that, or problem solving.
Okay.
So
Okay.
problem solving is my absolute one, and that's my second. So it's kind of weird because it's such a big gap.
Yeah, because it's actually opposite as far as extremes. As far as problem solving is the one with the most assertiveness, cooperative.
I guess maybe if I feel comfortable with something, I'll problem solve. But if I don't,
then you will usually
kind of stay back.
So you avoid as compared to force yourself or compromise or yield.
I don't know. I kind of feel like these two should be switched for me at least. Like problem solving is my number one, but then compromising would probably be two.
Okay. Interesting.
It's kind of weird because you have to do it for yourself. You almost want someone else to do it.
Yeah, see, now that's the other thing I'm going to ask you in a second is that, especially if what Michael sees. Well, Michael will do that right now. Michael, what do you see as far as in Joe, since you've worked with Joe?
I feel like he doesn't avoid things.
That's what I was thinking, right?
I feel like he is to the right. Like, so the middle goes right through compromising. I feel like he's to the right of the. Yeah. I want to say like just right where the compromising is, in between problem solving and yielding is where I would put him.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, great. Okay, Michael, I'm going to have you go now.
Sure.
And we'll have Jimmy go last. So based as far as on the interpretation of the results on that particular scale, and remember there's scales, so there's a particular error of measure as far as exactly how, but it kind of gives you just an idea. So.
Okay, that was my least. I got a 1 for that. It's my second least. I got a 3 for problem solving.
Okay.
I got a 7 for yielding, a 9 for compromising, and a 10 for avoiding. So I had myself right there.
Okay, so right in that area.
Yeah.
Okay. So you either compromise, or if the situation basically you avoid it if you don't think you can compromise as far as with the particular conflict.
Yeah, and I want to agree with Jamie. I feel like age has pulled me this way. For sure.
Okay, so you're more forceful as far as when you were younger, and then as you age, you're more compromising, avoiding on that particular scale. Okay, Joe, you know Michael, where does he fit in?
I was gonna say I think we all compromise a lot as a team anyway, so we're all kind of in the same boat right there.
Okay.
I would say he avoids things because he takes on things even when unasked. Like he's
okay. Now what about conflict though? So if a conflict occurs, or you see him as far as when a conflict occurs on the team or in the grade level or with somebody else,
he'll step up and do. Now, if somebody's arguing, he won't yell at them. I think he's very respectful in those terms. But if something comes up and no one agrees, like to take it on, Mike will usually I'll do it. I'll help out the team in that. So I feel like for the cooperativeness, I don't think yielding's bad, right? Is yielding bad?
Yeah, yielding basically says as far as I give in to you.
Give in? No, he's not like that. So maybe I can see where he is with the compromising then, or maybe even higher with problem solving, actually getting stuff done.
Yeah, the problem solving and the compromise are probably the two high. Problem solving is number 1, compromise is number 2, and then the other 3 kind of fill in as far as in between that.
Yeah, I figured if I hadn't taken this, I'd be around here.
Okay.
Our math teacher's always, her big thing is, what's the solution? What's the solution? That's her mantra. She always says it. And I'm always with her too, like, yeah, we need to get a solution.
Okay, so the problem solving. Okay.
But I wasn't up there, so.
You weren't up there. Okay, well that's interesting. And then as I said, Joe, you got copies, so if the team wants to kind of find out where they're at, and what you might want to do is take the blank copy of the 5 and have them which I think is a great idea, Mike, is have them think where they might be, and then have them take the survey, and then the survey will give you kind of a good indication. Okay, Jamie, we don't know you very well, so go ahead and you can go up and kind of share with us your results.
Well, I have to do my sidetrack first because that's what I'm good at. See, my thing is like the two options that they give you. Like for number 4, that's for one that I was an avoider. Like I try to find a compromise solution, or I sacrifice my own wishes. That doesn't make sense. Oh, it was number 3. I'm sorry. So number 3 was I'm usually firm in pursuing my goals, or I might try to soothe the other person's feeling and preserve our relationship.
Okay, that's...
Like that's not giving you one of the problem solving or the compromising answers.
Right.
So that's my thing. Like I would. There's very few, like I kind of said when I got older, I'm not as very few things are really worth me raising my blood pressure high for.
Okay, so for you fighting
Right.
for, in other words.
Would never happen.
Of course.
But if there was a problem solving or a compromising solution, I would have done that probably before just the
yielding.
them. You know,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like
Yes. Because they're opposite ends, and again, it's a well, the interesting thing about it is just 2 axes. So we're just looking at 2 axes. So that's why you got A or B as far as for your choices. Okay, so based as far as on the particular survey.
I am very high on the compromising.
Okay, and how high were you on the compromising?
12.
Okay.
I had 0 on forcing.
Okay, so you, like you said, as you
Well, it's my
age.
first year too in CPS, so I'm the newbie. So I don't think it. I mean, it's me in a couple years. Maybe I'll feel a little bit more forceful, but I don't think so.
Okay.
And then my next one was withdrawal, which I don't really agree with because I think it was more based on because the other one I looked at was very much the forceful or the withdrawal. It was those 2 extremes. So I'm definitely more withdrawing than forceful. And then problem solving, I had 6, and soothing, I had 4.
Okay. So you're up in the compromising, problem solving, and the yielding piece, correct?
The avoiding.
The avoiding piece. Okay.
The withdrawal, the avoiding, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I
Good.
think there's just a few things I'll fight over.
Okay. So, good understanding where you are, Mike?
What's that?
Good understanding where you are resolving conflicts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Okay. So, let's take a real quick look at the different styles. There is the lose-lose. That's the person who is basically each group avoids and they both lose because I have the intent as up here with the orange. I want to do something with the orange. Because I avoid it, I lose the opportunity. Okay? So actually, it's considered lose-lose because the intent is not actually as far as, right, okay? And that's the avoid style that we talked about. The second is the lose-win. Basically, you are floor mat, and I'm going to stomp all over you, and you are basically just going to give in to whatever I want you to do. Okay? And that is basically considered the accommodating. I think the soothing, as far as what it refers to, people use different language, but it kind of falls within that same particular means. The win-lose, it's the bulldozer. They just kind of push their way right on in. And basically, I know it all. I'm great. I'm going to win at all costs. And you know people as far as who might be like that. And again, that's people who are very, very competitive. Win at all costs. Joe, you're a coach, right? I'm curious as far as how does that fall in?
You know, we need to be competitive. I don't coach anymore, but I used to coach girls basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. You need to be competitive because then so the kids, you know, look at you for that. But you also need to be very assertive of what you need them to do because otherwise, they don't know what's going on, how to run the offense or defense, whatever it is.
Okay, so for coaches, they probably have as far as that mentality.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, this is the compromising, and this is the interesting piece about the compromising, is there's no win and there's no losers. It's a tie. Nobody gets everything as far as they want. So people say, well, is that bad? Well, ideally, we would love the win-win.
Some of what you want. And
Right, but
others
not
get some of what they want.
Right, but with the example of the orange
So
is
you're
that
the glass is half full, or you're actually the half empty.
Or the half empty.
full.
Yeah. But what we want, if all possible, if I understand your intent and your perceptions, there might be a chance as far as that we both can win.
Right.
Okay? That's the ideal. That's where you want to take it as far as to the next level. But the only way that occurs is about perceptions.
You understand.
You really have to understand where other people are coming from. So I'd be curious, and I'm going to challenge Joe and Michael on their team, is that you mentioned as far as there was some conflict. I'm curious as far as that, can you determine perceptions as far as that conflict on the team? So when you come back on the 18th, I'm just curious as far as if that 3 different levels of perception, what is the perception as far as why that conflict's occurring? Just for the fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, using questions as far as to indicate as far as, I'm not assuming anything, I'm going to kind of come to the bottom of why there's a conflict. And maybe you'll actually be able to resolve, and those 2 people will be able to work closer together. Especially since now you have this information, where information is always very, very powerful. Okay, and that's the compromising style. Win-win. We go to the buffet, and you get it all. Okay, and that's the quote, the problem-solving piece, which is actually the piece as far as what we talked about last time. Okay. Any questions as far as about conflict resolution, the 5 styles, and where you fit in?
I think so.
Okay, great. So with that in mind, we're going to do 2 things. The next part of today is that we were actually let you do some problem solving together like we did last time. But there's only 2 of you here, and my other whole team's not there. So as I mentioned to Joe, what I'd like for you to do is, I know you're meeting as a team. When is the meeting occur? Tuesday. I'd like for you, at that particular meeting, on your agenda, one particular issue. What is the need? What is the goal? And going through that 5-step process. We went through before, where it is. And coming up with an action plan of who's going to do, what they're going to do, when they're going to do it by, and how they're going to do. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a promise I can get from you as far as for your 6 members of your team to go through that particular process? And then either on the iPhone or bringing back as far as for discussion, that you already have the one about the agenda so that you set the time. That during that discussion, I'm assuming there's another particular problem you guys are working on in that hour.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And just taking one of those particular issues and using that particular process. Because that's actually what we would have done today.
Cool.
Okay. And then I know you're going to bring back the other mic for us, right?
Yeah.
For a finale. So at least we have 3. Jamie, you're definitely more welcome to come back with us. But as I said, if not, totally understand. So what I like to do to put closure on today is 2 things. Is I like to do a team building activity. It's actually a trust activity. Jamie, you're going to be my partner. You 2 trust each other, I hope?
I get it.
Okay, go ahead and stand. We're going to do an activity. Go ahead and stand for a trust activity. Okay.
You know you won.
Jamie, you are almost correct. Okay, Jamie, what Jamie's going to do is that Jamie's going to stand in front of me. Okay, so decide who's going to be in front. Okay, now, without touching Jamie, Joe, are you in the back?
Yeah.
And without touching Mike, in a moment, Jamie's going to close her eyes, and I'm going to direct Jamie around this room only using my voice. Okay. You're going to direct Mike around this room. Now, you trust him, right? Okay. Okay. So Mike's going to close his eyes only with your voice. Joe, direct him around this
We have
room.
to stand behind.
Well, you can stand in front, on the side, however, but your orientation as far as direct him
Do
around
me
the
a
room.
favor, use 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3
Okay.
o'clock.
Are you ready? I'm going to use left or right. Okay, Jamie, close your eyes. Okay, let's go ahead and begin to walk forward.
And then face.
Okay,
to-
stop.
Oh, no.
Go ahead and turn to your
9 o'clock.
right.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and walk forward. Take a walk.
I'll get it
Take a
started.
walk. Take a walk. And stop.
Take
Okay,
2
now
steps
go ahead and
forward.
turn to your left.
All right, now
Go ahead and walk
noon.
for me. Continue to walk. Stop.
I'm at 12
Okay, just
o'clock.
turn as far as
The 12 o'clock is
a
wherever I'm
small
facing.
amount to your
That's
right.
how you do it? 9 o'clock then.
Perfect. Okay, go ahead and walk.
Straight ahead.
Okay,
Keep
continue.
Like a
You're
regular
good.
table.
Okay, and stop.
I don't
Okay,
trust
now
you.
turn to your left.
I thought you said you trust
I don't
Okay.
trust you.
Turn just a little bit back to your right. Perfect. Go ahead and walk.
All right, stop.
Go ahead and continue to walk. Continue to walk. Can you walk? Can you walk? And stop. Okay, wonderful. Now this time, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna change positions. Okay, this time you are gonna stand behind them. Okay? So, Jamie, what you're going to do is you're gonna take your hands. Now, 2 ways to do this activity. I coach. Joe, you coach, right? If you go to coaching clinics and you want to know as far as where a person's going to move, what do they tell you to look at?
The hips.
Hips. So, Jamie, if you're comfortable, you're going to put your hands on my hips to control my hips. If not, you can do my shoulders, but hips has the most control. Okay, good. Okay, Mike, are you comfortable with the hips? Okay. Mike, we got this on tape now, by the way. Okay, now. Okay, what's going to occur? Joe, you're going to put your hands out like you're driving a car. In a moment, Joe, you're going to close your eyes without using your voice. Jamie or Mike, you're going to direct us around this room as we walk around. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Eyes closed, begin to move. A little bit faster.
Oh no.
A little bit faster.
I don't like this one.
And stop. And back
That
to the
was really
seats.
fast.
Okay. Okay.
You
Wonderful.
are a speed demon.
Is he a speed demon? Okay. Wow.
We did circle. Well, I was gonna take it.
Okay. I'm going to give you. This is the action plan form, Joe, for you next week.
Ooh, you're a therapist.
Okay.
Cop first, and I'm a therapist.
Okay. These are they have the evals as far as that Mayerson. So if you just go and complete that before you guys leave. Other than that, stay warm, and I'll see you guys as far as on the 18th, February, and hopefully the other Mike. And I'll see you as far as next Thursday,
Yes.
correct? Okay.